live. Three, two, one. Maybe I think we're almost live. Okay, YouTube is being slow. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I was like, hey, we're going live. So whatever you say,
Yeah, yeah.
it's being recorded.
I'm always excited when you're here, Jackie.
Well, I had a little bit of a disappointing week,
Oh
Laura.
no.
Well, no, it was okay. I didn't have a lot of time to code, and I'm still working through the full stack thing. And I took my first quiz, and I missed it by first 1 point. So
Oh.
yeah,
We'll help you get there. We'll help you get there.
I mean, it's kind of funny. I thought about it after last week's meeting where somebody had mentioned that, because I was saying I thought I preferred the legacy. Um, but I think I like the full stack better after going through getting to my first quiz.
That's awesome.
I do think I retained a little bit more.
That's awesome, Jackie. It's cool too to hear feedback from people who started on the legacy and moved over, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How are you doing?
Doing good, just working super hard. Um, Taylor, before we get totally rolling, next week, would you prefer to log into the Zoom yourself and host the meeting, or would you prefer to let everyone know to go over to your YouTube channel for a demo or for something? What would you prefer to
Let's
do
just do
next
it
week?
normally. That way it's
Okay.
easier.
Okay, Taylor's going to be hosting the meeting next week because I will be traveling. Unavoidable. I won't even be I'll be landing in Denver somewhere around this time, so
Well, that
um
sounds exciting. I hope it's a good trip for you coming up.
it it is. We're doing a dining in the dark in Fort Collins, Colorado, as a fundraiser for the foundation because we have some board members that live up that way. So it's a quick trip. I'm flying up on Tuesday, coming back on Thursday, but um, it's gonna be good. But I gotta fly. Like I didn't really want to fly late at night and then wake up the next morning and prepare for the fundraiser that night. You know what I mean? So
I can understand that. Yeah.
it was either early morning or it was late at night, for the most part, not entirely. And I didn't want to have my afternoon taken up by that, so I um, chose to fly in the morning. I knew I'd have somebody to hold down the fort for me. You know. Good morning to everyone who's joining. Um, but yeah, so Taylor will be hosting solo next week because I will be in the middle of traveling. But then I'll be back the week after that. I mean, I
Do you
intend to
want to promote
always.
it?
What's that?
Do you want to promote to your socials?
The what? You cut
Or do
out.
you already?
I caught half of what you said.
Do you want to promote it to your social media?
Oh, yes. Let me work on doing that.
We have a chat. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining.
I will go grab my external keyboard
We're
and I will
getting
work on
started in
doing
just a
that.
few minutes, folks.
I'm gonna step away real fast and grab my keyboard.
All right. So yeah, we'll get started in probably about 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm back. I prefer a external keyboard for my iPhone. Makes typing a lot quicker.
Okay, let's see.
Um, yeah, I think it's going to be fun doing our help session today.
Yeah,
It's
I
going to
really
be.
think it will be. And we'll talk about the quiz, Jackie. I know you're having trouble with it. We'll, give you strategies for that, and we'll try to help you sort that out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I didn't think it was even, again, it was little things that I just, for whatever reason, didn't click in my brain.
I struggle to remember a lot of stuff when coding. Like, I don't know. I'm not the best at remembering everything with coding.
And
Probably
another
just because I have so many other things I'm doing at one time.
Oh, sorry, Laurel. You're
You're
like
fine.
delaying, so I keep cutting you off. Yeah, thank you, Francis. You found my channel through an RS Games advertisement, which I did a couple months ago. So it was a really cheap way to get some more people on the YouTube. So
I'm
thank you, everybody who's in the chat.
I'm about to share this on social media.
Okay, so I need to quickly.
I'm gonna mute myself while I type and do this real quick.
Do we want to get started, Laurel, and then you can do it while we're like introducing the
Oh
first
yeah,
question?
absolutely. So let's just get started. Welcome to Learn to Code Tuesday. If you're new here, we do this every Tuesday from 10 Central to noon Central Time in America. It's here on Zoom, and it's also being live streamed on Taylor's YouTube. Taylor is my co-host. I am Laurel with the Laurel Wheeler Foundation. If you want to know more about my work or what we do, you can find us on social media at Laurel Wheeler Foundation. My name is spelled Laurel. Last name is Wheeler. We also are online at laurelwheelerfoundation.org. And my fearless co-host, Taylor Arndt from Techopolis, is here and is going to be hosting today as we do a help session and talk about a few other fun topics. Stick around. We'll talk about 3D printing at some point and some other
Yes.
And
fun
how it relates
stuff.
to code. Hint, hint.
So
Actually,
take it
there's a
away,
relationship to
Taylor.
code. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. And yeah, we're going to be talking about some fun topics. And, one of those is 3D printing and how it actually relates to code. So we'll do that in a little bit. But we will first ask if anybody has any questions. I know we have at least one already. Do we have any other questions or do we want to start with you, Jackie? Okay, let me go ahead. Jackie, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. It seems like nobody else has any questions. Let's first address yours.
Oh, well, it wasn't even really a question. It was
Oh, okay.
more just an observation that because I
Ah,
switched over from the legacy Learn to Code Camp and I'm now trying to work my way through full stack. And I got like in the legacy, I had already finished the HTML portion of it, and I was moving into HTML and CSS, and I was moving into JavaScript. But then when I switched over to the full stack course curriculum, it kind of started me over again. And I was just saying, think I think I'm retaining a little bit more using the full stack course curriculum. Um, but again, as somebody who's never really coded before, I got to the first quiz and I missed it by 1 point. You needed to get
oh no.
18 out of 20 questions, and I got 17 out of 20 questions right.
Oh no.
But that's okay because again, it's, for me, I tend to learn better by learning from errors. And I think that's probably what makes a good coder.
Yeah.
You keep working on things until you figure it out.
Yep.
So that was kind of my little thing.
You know what? That's okay. Sometimes that happens.
I haven't gotten to this is Melissa. I haven't gotten to the quiz yet, but I think doing the full stack's going to be beneficial because of taking the quizzes and you actually have to think about what your answer, and you're like, oh, wait, now how did I do that? So I think in that sense that
Yeah, and
it's going to help more.
I don't know about you, Melissa, but I know for me, I'm kind of enjoying watching the video and then how they
Hmm.
have the transcript below it because
Yes.
Very helpful.
hearing it
Yes.
and then reading it is just very helpful to me.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. I agree.
Multiple learning modalities is always a good thing.
Because everybody learns different.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
It's like with your Taylor, with you guys' classes, you always have quizzes and stuff, and
Yep.
which it's helpful because then you have to stop and think, okay, what do I do to do this? And when you write it down, and then it's like you remember it.
Uh-huh. Always.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to possibly doing the full access on Techopolis. I just it's been a rough month economically.
That's
We've
fine.
had a couple of vet visits.
Uh, those can get expensive.
Yes,
And
they
if you're
can.
not sure, you can always do the monthly and then go to the yearly because the monthly is only $2.50. So if you're not sure, like, I don't know if this is for me, there's always that monthly option.
Well, thank you. I
Also,
appreciate that.
I just wanted to add and say if people are struggling financially
Yep.
to access that platform and need some help, reach out to me because we can help with that a little bit.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna have some cool courses coming up. So yeah, no, nobody's gonna want to miss them. Um, any other thoughts from you, Laurel? Any other questions from anybody else?
Not that come to my mind. I'm just super excited to hear Jackie's feedback, and Melissa, I'm excited for your progress too, and everybody else who's here, and it's awesome. I love um, getting to also follow along with people's learning journeys and experiences. And Jackie, I think it's really cool to hear your feedback, having switched from the legacy over to the full stack courses. In your mind, like, so you did the legacy extensively and then you switched over to the full stack. How are the learning styles different in your mind? Like, what do you notice are the biggest differences? People might be curious to hear that.
For me, honestly, I think that the full stack is doing a better job on introducing the different elements to me, where for a lot of the legacy, I was just kind of, okay, here's the question. So now I have to figure out how to insert it into the code. I think the full stack does a better job of here's the information that you need in order to do the challenges. Um, I think it does a better job on presenting the information and showing you how to fit it into the code, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. I haven't started on the full stack yet because I've just had other things I've been doing, but I love that some of our community is doing that and has feedback for us. That's awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I was in the legacy, I was through HTML and CSS and going through full stack, I've got, what does it say here? 48 of 193 steps completed, or 68 of
Wow.
193 completed.
Wow. So
So,
you're already cooking. I mean,
well, and again, even for that matter, like I haven't started, it does include a lot of things that if you've been involved in the legacy, like I haven't even started on the CSS portion of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it says I have 948 of 1,155 steps completed,
Yeah, so it
and that
saved your progress, and you
it
already
saved my
actually did quite a bit.
progress. Yeah.
Yeah, love that. I love that.
So that right there is pretty cool.
I love that. What do you got for us today, fearless leader? Taylor?
I guess I have the mute problem. Anyway, yeah, my Zoom wouldn't unmute. So, Laurel, do you want to quickly talk about the other topics? Because I think this is a good time while we're waiting for people to have questions. And I think,
Absolutely. Go for it.
okay. So, as maybe you guys may or may not know, Michael and I have a 3D printer, and this week we have a new shop. So we have a shop called Techopolis Creations, and we have different products like baskets and Apple Watch stands and things
Yes,
like that,
blind
different
people can 3D
accessories.
print. I'm
Yes,
Yes,
so
we can.
stoked.
me
And we
too.
can design our own models. Do you know that I designed all the models on our site? And
You
yes,
did?
Michael had to check them for visual clarity.
Wow, nice.
I am very stoked, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm very interested in learning how to 3D print as a blind person, and I have not found very many resources on how to do that. Are you guys interested in that?
Yeah, there's a guy that has a accessible 3D printing YouTube channel,
Really?
and he is blind. And
Who? Do you
Yeah.
know?
I don't remember. I'll have to look. Hold on.
Because that would
I
be.
usually watch every video he puts
Hope you don't
out.
mind, Taylor, but I want to know this because that's a resource I want to know about.
No, I mean, I don't
Um,
really know either. I'm just literally doing it myself. Michael and I, we're both like low vision, but Michael can see enough where he checks my designs.
mhm.
Cause like
Let
I
me
a lot
see.
of blind people they'll do sort of tactile things and like I don't have enough feeling to be able to like convert the drawing to tactile stuff. It's like okay, I have to just do it through code,
But
and I
man,
use AI extensively.
if
Yeah,
somebody's got a channel out there talking about it, I think that's a thing that our community should know about.
he does. I'm gonna find it for us.
I don't know what his name
Uh,
is.
um,
Hold on, let's see.
Because I
it's
know
so
I can't be
simple.
the only one. I know there's a lot of people out there interested in the world of 3D printing, but hey, I'll just be bold and straight up admit I have no idea where to begin.
And I'm
Even
gonna
with
create a
deciding on a
Facebook group.
printer, you know?
He tells you, like what to buy and everything. It's like, the best to get the best results, for
Like I said, I feel like this is going to be a resource that there's going to be quite a few people that would want to know about. Um, so I know we're streaming on Taylor's YouTube, so I don't always want to promote other people's YouTubes while
No,
streaming on
no,
a
no,
YouTube,
no.
but
No, Laurel, you can promote any YouTube. It's that we have that policy for like because my YouTube is also ran by Techopolis, and
there you
also
go.
we should also do a quick uh roll in here. You know, Techopolis Online Solutions, right? We have a lot of different things. We've got courses, we've got services, and now we have a 3D printing shop. And you can be able to see everything we 3D print, techopoliscreations.com.
Go check it
And
out.
if you want to, yep, and if you want to check our courses platform, we also have a 3D printing course coming soon.
Yes!
Wink, wink, nudge,
cool.
nudge. Sign up now
Yes!
before it fills up.
Oh my
You
God.
don't want to wait. Spots are limited. It's going to be coming out in the next couple weeks. We're going
Oh
to be
my
trying
God.
to.
I'm signing up now.
It's not technically live yet, but since you're
No.
already on the platform, it's going to be a paid course. So
Yeah,
either do
great.
all access
As soon
or
as it goes live, I'm in. Oh my gosh.
yeah. So Michael and I are going to be doing it together. And I know, Jackie, for you, you've got a CAD background and you can still do CAD even if you're blind, people. Like,
Yeah, I think I'm just going to like go grab my card and just join.
Yeah. I'm so stoked. But yeah,
And
Melissa,
remember,
when
it's a
you
7-day free trial. Oh, sorry, Laurel. 7-day free
you're
trial.
good.
Use Taylor Art YouTube as your promo code, people. That way you don't have to pay for the whole price because it might be going up soon. So use Taylor Art YouTube to get it while it lasts.
Absolutely. And Melissa, if you find that other channel, tell us who it is, because if there's a dude out there covering blind or low vision 3D printing, I want to know about that. And I think there's a lot of people that do too.
Hello,
Oh
could
my
you
gosh,
guys hear
that's
me?
so exciting. Go ahead, sorry.
Could you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we
Yes.
can. Now we can.
I think the guy that she's referring to is called Edes Adilovic, who on YouTube is known as Mr. Blind Guardian.
Okay. Mr. Blind Guardian. I'm gonna look him up. I've been wanting for a very long time to dabble in the world of 3D printing. And if Taylor is saying that she's just doing it by coding, I am one more reason to learn coding, right? Like, I
Would you
mean,
like me to give you a demo?
oh my gosh, do you guys want to see a demo? Because I
I
do.
might have to
I
get
do,
Michael in here for
yes.
this. Let me quickly hold on. Let me
Listen,
quickly
this
go
is
tell
learn to code. And, you know, while we based our stuff off of like teaching people through encouraging people to do free code camp, like, we talk about anything and everything that you can do with coding. And, you know, 3D printing, if we're using coding to 3D print, then yeah, absolutely, let's do a demo and show the
All
blind
right,
community
let me
how we do
quickly
that.
slow down my speech rate. I need to go quickly get Michael, so bear with me, folks.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, guys, in our Learn to Code, we can talk about anything that you can do using coding, you know?
Yep. I'm going to quickly get Michael. Because Michael is needed. I'll show
I
you the
am beyond stoked. This is going to be fun. I'm on my phone right now and I'm looking up this guy.
I'm still looking. I'm sorry. I'm having to look in my phone
No, you're fine. I'm going to look him up.
because I'm subscribed on my phone. I don't think I'm signed in on the computer, so I can't find it.
One of my dreams is to make
Hold on,
like
I might be done.
low cost 3D printed items that are blindness related that I can take around the world with me when we go, and can provide people with things like slates and styluses and, you know, I don't know, like low cost things that they may not be able to afford otherwise. So that's one of my interests in this. Okay. Come on, YouTube. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna filter.
Okay, Michael's going to be coming in soon.
Perfect.
But
This
I'm going
is
to start the demo.
so exciting. I'm like so stoked.
So let me set the scene for just a few minutes, y'all.
Please do.
Let's say that you are blind and you want to be able to create 3D objects, right? There's a lot of different software out there. None of it is accessible for blind people, okay? And then let's say that you want to be able to do this, but you want to be able to do it fast and you want to be able to do it efficiently without, because the software is kind of difficult to use. And then let's say that you want to be able to have it load directly in your printer without downloading any software. Okay, so what I mean is you literally use an online program, it renders it, and then you can download it and put it in your printer. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm going to show you right now. So here we go. I'm going to quickly turn down my speech rate. Michael's looking at something else with AI, so he's going to be coming in just a minute. So I'm going to turn it down. Here we go. And then I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, even with AI too. Okay.
Sweet.
Oh, shoot.
Screen sharing meeting.
So it all starts
You have
in
started screen
my
share. Press F6 to
3D models folder. So let me show you. I'm just going to. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Crap.
see your screen alert.
Damn it. I keep hitting the wrong button. Fine, I'll just keep it recording.
Run
in case
dialog.
you-
Lang. CM. Tech desktop list.
Okay. So I'm going to go to my
C colon
command
backslash C
prompt.
D D O U E F E S C colon backslash C space 3 D quote creations quote models quote C D is
This is my. Oops.
C colon backslash users backslash Taylor and backslash documents creator C D space 3D. Quote. Creations.
Okay.
Models. Quote. C: /users /
This is my 3D models folder. And what's in here is all my models that I've created. Okay. Now, these include things like, everything that is on our site and other things that I'm working on. So I'm going to do code period. Remember, I'm in my terminal.
CODE space dot.
Period.
Visual Studio Code document. Application main landmark Apple line watch line stand dot scan editor as autocomplete multi
This is an Apple Watch stand. I'm not going to read some of this
files
code,
explore
but
Christian line Easter door line hook dot scan not selected
I got like some door hooks,
Easter line basket dot scan not select
Easter baskets. I was working on. I'm going to, actually, that one's not any
if
good.
15 line pro line Mac July line 4th line star line.
But these star keychains, these are on our store, and these are all designed with OpenSCAD. So they end with a .scad. But we're going to make something together. So I'm going to do Control N.
Main land.
I'm going to do Control Shift I.
Chat input type to ask questions.
I need to make, Laurel, did we turn off the waiting room? Do you remember I did that, or do you not
I
know?
think you did. I think.
Okay.
I believe you
put
did.
the-
I'm not
Screen
100%
share
sure if you
needed.
actually did it, but you said you were gonna.
Audio now muted
So
alert. Audio.
I'm going to check because I want to make sure in case Michael's trying to come in. Okay. So,
still can't find that guy's YouTube channel.
okay.
Maybe
so
he'll
yeah, I
watch this
did.
and
Okay.
make himself known. I don't know.
No,
It'd be
I found
awesome.
it. I'm sending it in just a minute.
Perfect. Good.
Screen share.
Okay. So then let's say I'm in my new document, right? And then I want to be
Participants
able
can
to
now see
create
your
a model. Okay.
Untitled
So
-9
here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do Control Shift I. Oops, I already did.
toolbar. Start voice chat.
So this is a voice chat. Remember, we talked about this a couple weeks ago with GitHub Copilot.
Toolbar.
then-
Set mode left parent. CT menu. Ask not
Mode.
edit not agent check 3 of
Agent.
toolbar.
Okay, so then I could either do voice or I could do regular. And I'm going to do voice just to speed things up.
Toolbar. Start voice chat left parent space. Chat input. Type to
Make
Michael Waz has joined the meeting alert.
make a slate and stylus with OpenSCAD that a blind person can be able to use. Ensure that the slate and stylus is on the same model.
Chat request sent. Working.
Okay, I did that really quickly. So what I'm doing, Michael, is
Progress.
I'm showing how I'm creating a model, right? So it's working on it, and I'm using AI extensively.
Progress.
Okay, I'm using a lot of AI. So it's saying progress. It will create the file for
Progress.
me, and then I'll show you what to
Working.
do next after this.
Out of a clickable current file. Progress.
And thank you, Michael, for joining.
Click a toolbar button. Add context. Left parent. CTRL plus / right parent. Progress. Progress.
Progress. Okay.
No next heading.
Let me
Button
figure
out of
out
tool.
what this
Clickable.
is.
Think clickable individuals. Let me think. I'll help you create a Braille slate and stylus model in OpenSCAD for use by visually impaired individuals. Let me think about the design and then implement it. Progress.
So this is GitHub Copilot, people, and I'm literally using AI
Progress.
to code this. Okay. So then
Progress.
go.
Clickable thinking. Clickable working.
So it's thinking,
Progress.
right? It's gonna work on it for a minute.
Progress.
Come on.
Clickable thinking. Clickable working. Out of list clickable toolbar button select out of clickable individuals. Let me think about the design and then implement it. Clickable thinking. Working. Progress.
It's almost done, I think. Okay. So once it's done, I'm gonna
Working.
copy
Progress.
and paste this. And I'll show you what I'm gonna do in a few minutes. But let's
Progress.
see if it's gonna actually create. And it's gonna create, but we'll see how long it takes. I don't think it'll
Progress.
take long. And I'm just using standard developer technology on all y'all. I'm just using GitHub Copilot.
Progress.
OpenSCAD is an open source CAD software that's based on code.
Progress.
Come on.
Progress. I'll help you create a Braille clickable thinking.
I know you're gonna
Progress.
work.
Clickable. I'll create a new OpenSCAD design for a Braille
here we
slate and
go.
stylus that would be usable by a blind person. Let me implement this. Clickable. I apologize for the error. Let me create the OpenSCAD file with the correct file path. Button search for files matching. Clickable working.
See, it's working.
Progress.
And the thing is that Michael and I actually have a whole iCloud folder of
Progress.
3D prints that we made and we found. So
Progress.
what ends up going to happen is that once this is done, I put it in iCloud
Progress.
for Michael to review. Michael looks at it, and if he thinks it's good, he prints it,
Progress.
right? And then he sends it to the printer, and I'll show you the whole process once this is done.
I'll
Come
help
on.
you
And
create a
while
Braille
it's
slate
doing that,
clickable Braille slate and-
tell us what kind of printer you have. Like,
We have a So it used to be called the Anchor Make, but they renamed it to UFI. It's the Anchor Make M5 printer. Michael, do you know the retail price on that? Because I think we got it like for a discount because it
We
when
got
it
ours
just
for
came out.
we got ours for $350. I think they're up to 700 now. I think.
Yeah, but I think you can, like, a few times a year find them on a sale, you know?
Yes, you can. But
So-
I would recommend, and we will have more information on this. The Bamboo Labs printers.
Bamboo
Those are
Labs.
fantastic.
Do you know how much those normally go for?
$4.99 for the A1.
All right. Like I said, I am so into this, and I think that
Lisa Wolf to
for
everyone,
sure
colon,
I'm going to
https
take
colon slash slash outchoose
that
dot
course when you guys put it out. But I think there's a lot of us that would love, like Taylor, you should absolutely make a Facebook group for Techopolis Creations and for talking about blind 3D printing, because I think there's those of us out there that would like go nuts over it. Also, Melissa just threw the YouTube channel in the chat for the gentleman who's got a channel talking about it. So you guys can go
Okay,
check that
yep.
out.
I
Yep.
will.
And you know, when you guys get more in depth into this, maybe we can do some more live demos, because this is the kind of real world stuff that you can do with coding. I mean,
Yes. And
this is
Laurel,
real
it is
world
done.
application. Learning to code, do this, you
clickable
know?
accessible line braille C.
Anyway, continue on, Taylor. I just figured while we were waiting for your software, it would be good to mention the, like, what you're printing from, you know? So that
Oh,
people have
absolutely.
some ideas. And welcome Michael to the conversation too. Michael is also with Techopolis and is our other fearless leader. So
Yeah.
Okay, so let me read this real quick so you guys know what
Click I
happened
need
here.
to use the correct file path for the works. Braille's clickable. I've created the OpenSCAD file for an accessible Braille slate and stylus. Here's an explanation of the design colon. Heading level 2 accessible Braille slate and stylus. This design includes both components needed for Braille writing colon. Heading level 3 the slate. List with 6 items. Bullet A2. Bullet top. Bullet A2 dash plate hinge design that holds paper for Braille writing. Bullet top plate has openings for standard 6 dash dot Braille cells arranged in a grid left parent. 6 rows. 16 columns right parent. Bullet bottom plate has corresponding indentations to receive the dots. Bullet features tactile guides along the edges to help with paper positioning. Bullet A lip around the edge of the bottom plate helps align paper correctly. Bullet connected by a hinge system allowing the plates to open and close. Out of list heading level 3 the stylus. List with 5 items. Bullet ergonomic design with a comfortable grip diameter left parent, 15 millimeters right parent. Bullet slanted at a 30 degrees angle for easier handling and operation. Bullet textured grip with diagonal grooves to prevent slipping. Bullet smooth rounded tip that's sized to fit precisely through the slate openings. Bullet designed to create clean Braille dots without tearing from Renisha's note taker left. Out of list heading level 3 accessibility
Let me
features.
read that again because the
List
chat.
bullet smooth rounded tip that's sized to fit precisely through the slate openings. Bullet designed to create clean Braille dots without tearing the paper. Out of list heading level 3 accessibility features. List with 4 items. Bullet the stylus has textured grips that can be felt by touch. Bullet the slate has tactile indicators for orientation. Bullet components are scaled for comfortable handling. Bullet the slanted design of the stylus improves ergonomics and reduces wrist strain. Out of list the model is fully parameterized, so measurements can be easily adjusted if needed for different hand sizes or preferences. Would you like me to explain any specific aspect of the design in more detail?
So what I'm going to actually do first is I'm not going to read the
From
code
Renisha's note taker
yet.
left. Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and render it so you guys can see how it looks. And then I will read the code if it's good.
toolbar read aloud retry button. Keep button.
I'm going to keep it.
Edits kept. Application button done. Done button.
I'm going to go to done.
Click add input. Type to ask.
And then I'm going to go
Files
to my
explore.
file.
If and fifth Easter door Christian Apple line accessible line B. Accept
What-
Apple Christian
what
door
do you
line
call
Easter
it?
if and fifth July large line. Large
Uh-oh.
line Chris July if and East door line Chris Apple accessible line Braille line slate line and line
Oh,
stylus dot
here we
scad
go.
not select. Main
Okay.
landmark.
So it's a .scad and it is opening in either VS Code or they have their own program. I don't recommend their own program because it's not the most accessible, but I'm going to show you an online editor that I used with Michael. I can't really share a link with it. Oh, sorry, what, Michael?
I'm going to be very curious how it's going to do this hinge, if it's going to make it to where it's already
know.
together, or if it's going to do 2 different parts. So that will be interesting.
Guys,
you
this
ready
is
to
part of
find
the
out?
fun of demoing something live that's new that we're all sort of exploring and learning together, isn't it, Taylor?
Yes, this is amazing. I didn't think I'd be doing an OpenSCAD demo, and frankly, I'm not very good at it. That's why I use AI because I can't assemble OpenSCAD.
And you know, I will say this is part of the fun we have, guys, of FreeCodeCamp or, you know, Learn to Code Tuesdays. FreeCodeCamp was our base and how we get people going, but this is the fun we have. Sometimes our Tuesdays are impromptu, and anything and everything coding related and what you can do with coding goes, right? So, like, sometimes we just go impromptu, unscripted, and have some fun together coding.
Are you ready to find out the results?
60.
Yeah.
I'm dying to see this
Yes.
rendering.
All right, here we go.
Yeah,
So I'm
me
gonna
too.
go
Let's
Chrome.
go.
Open more at OpenTechOpolis.online profile button.
So there's two software I recommend, either OpenSCAD Cloud or OpenSCAD Playground. For this, I'm going to use OpenSCAD Playground because it seems to be a little bit more responsive, and OpenSCAD Cloud is great for those people who need high contrast. So let me try OpenSCAD Cloud. I want to show you guys how both of them work.
New tab dash OpenSCAD P OpenSCAD/OpenSCAD slash selected instead. OpenSCAD
I use
OpenSCAD
so much
button open
fills
out
again
of
for
frame
me.
button clickable
So,
editor content
I'm going
editor
to paste
content.
it in. It's just like the same VS Code editor on FreeCodeCamp. You guys have seen this before. And then I'm going to find the play button. We'll see if it actually
Rename
works.
button was Stebusket button
I don't know what
login
that
button
is, but...
solid button
Oh, hold on. I think
wireframe
I'm too
customizer
far.
cheat sheet button share link button export ST play button.
I doubt this is going to work. This software's been very... Oh, I don't think that worked. Okay. So yeah, that's why I don't recommend that software. It works sometimes, but it's not very stable. Oh, wait. Did it work, Michael?
It looks like it's doing something.
It's just not giving you a lot of verbal feedback.
Yeah.
Right.
Michael, can you see it?
Yeah, it's working.
Mhm.
What does it look like? Does it look good or does it look terrible?
Well, it has an indicator showing that it's working. The other problem is that in Zoom you have all of the names of people, so it covers up a good chunk of your screen.
So make your
Okay,
CAD
let me-
thing full screen.
System menu restore move size minimize maximize unavailable X.
Well, the
Open
browser's
It is
already
full
full
screen.
screen. It's already full screen,
Oh,
but half of the screen is code, half of the screen is the
gotcha.
Zoom.
model.
We're all
And
going
then-
to play
Let
this
me-
together and we're going to figure this
You can
out.
Oh, see,
Oh.
this is why this software is not very good because it has page unresponsive. Let me show you the other one that I've been preferring lately. If I can
Zoom.
get out of this one.
OpenSCAD cloud from auto drop
Nope. Okay. I have
Zoom
to get
social
out.
dash learn new tab
So
dash open
OpenSCAD.
EN SCA space EL A ground select Urge Q unselected
OpenSCAD
OpenSCAD playground dash nav main OpenSCAD playground heading link fork me on GitHub link
So this is the software, and so look, can you see that now, Michael? It has like the hello world.
Yes, it is. That application is open. Yep.
All right, so that one is that a lot
clickable list
easier to
editable
see?
open tree clickable editor content editor
I'm gonna
slash
paste
star
this in
line
here. So that's just their sample code. And look at that. Oh, I think it already rendered, but I'm gonna hit the render button anyway.
button
It
editor
has
menu
not.
Make sure. Okay,
switch on
hold on.
switch on switch
rendered.
off button editor menu render button rendering
It should play a sound, but I guess it doesn't play a sound.
There it
Oh
goes.
yeah, it did. There it goes. Look at that.
Oh,
That's
man.
what it made.
Cool.
Okay, it looks
I-
like multiple parts. I will be very curious to see how this looks whenever when we make an STL.
Does it look good or bad, or can you describe it for those who may be
It
watching?
looks. I can't see the stylus yet because I think there's something covering it, but there's definitely two plates. I can't tell if they're attached or if it's one on top of the other. So yeah, I am not exactly sure just because of the angle.
You might
Okay,
want to
well-
try going up to view and see if you could find an exploded view.
Well,
Yeah,
what I'm
try
actually
going
gonna do.
The view button.
Okay.
live announcement
view.
switch off view switch on view switch off on
Oh, what'd that do?
There you
Okay,
go.
So yeah, that's an interesting stylus there.
I'm sure
Um,
it is.
So it looks like um it looks like it's made it the right size. Again, the only way we're gonna know is to render it and put it into an STL. But it looks very similar to a slate and stylus, believe it or not.
Well, you know what? For a first attempt, Michael, you can say like you've seen a lot of bad models
Pernicious
from me,
note taker
haven't
left
you?
parent. Otter.ira.
Like, you have
Yeah.
seen models of me that are completely like crappy.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it takes a few times to get things right. So,
Mhm.
why don't you try to render it, and I will do a visual inspection inside of a slicer. And a slicer, folks, is what takes the models and then creates it into layers
Mhm.
for the 3D printer to print.
Pernicious note taker left
so
parent.
what
Otter.ira.
you do is export STL, and STL is a file
View.
format.
Switch on. Edit. Switch on. Link fork me on. Link fork me on. Get clickable. Switch
And
on.
I
Switch
will
on.
say,
Switch
if
on.
if you're blind and you want to try this, like if I try this, I'll probably get my parents to help me check the design because I live at their house right now. Or another option, if you live on your own, you can always use something like Ira and your Meta glasses to
Mhm.
look at your screen, or Ira and TeamViewer, you can share your screen, or if you had a friend or somebody on the other end, you could video render. And also, one of you, Michael and Taylor, chip in. Techopolis Creations will do custom print. Like, I don't know much about. I mean, I know you guys are just getting started and stuff, but like, I think if a blind person really was dead set on a design they wanted help with, you guys could help, or something along those lines.
Well, there's that, and then we can maybe help with. I can do some visuals and say, hey, send me the file and say, how does this look, and I can give some feedback.
Mhm.
Yeah. So just know that for those of you out there who want to try but are intimidated and you feel like a barrier is that I don't have anyone to look for me, there's ways around it. There's supports out there, whether it's Meta Glasses or whether it's Ira or whether it's our community or whatever. You're not alone and you can do it.
All right, you ready for the next step?
Mhm.
Button editor men undefined grouping. Download STL menu button. Collapse
Oops,
sub menu.
sorry, I covered
Download
it.
STL button. Unavailable.
Download STL.
This dialog is not currently focused. Press Alt Shift A to focus this dialog. Alert.
So this downloads an STL, and then what Michael and I usually do is I'm just gonna go to my downloads.
Download history. Button
Okay.
more. Link pro table with
It's gonna say like export 20 something because I use
row
this
1
for
column 1 link
logs.
export left parent 33 right parent dot STL.
133.
Column 3 button copied button show in folder. Show in folder. Export left parent.
Okay. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna put it in my iCloud
Download history.
with Michael.
Desktop list. Accessibility 14 of 30. Mac files 2 of 33. Mac files dash 5.
Because I pair, a VM, so just on my.
iCloud home column. iCloud.
There we go.
Items view
Drive.
list. 3D. Developer 10 of 1. Customer work. Comcast
There we
backup
go.
for accessible. 1 3D.
3D
Items
prints.
view
I
list.
could put in the developer folder.
Export left parent 33.
And now, Michael, you can look at it. Export 33. And then what we do after it's like finalized, we rename it to actually be something that's okay, right?
I got the
So,
file.
okay. Michael's going to
Um,
look at it and tell me how bad it could be or how good. Not sure.
What I like about the guy that I sent you guys the YouTube channel, he does screen sharing too, so everything his Jaws is doing, from the beginning. So, and he has like 14 videos now, I think. So
And he's probably way
he's
more advanced than I am.
he's totally blind. He's been doing it for a little bit, but not too long.
Well,
I just heard about it a few months ago. So, and I was, of course, immediately interested. I'm like, oh, I want to do this.
Yeah, I just subscribed to his channel because I want to see. I
Mhm.
may. I'm a
And he
big one in
does,
following things chronologically.
yeah, and he does do an AI session too, where he gets AI to, help him. But like Laurel said, there's really no barriers because you can either get friends or all the apps we have access to. If you're totally blind to look at things, it's definitely doable. I just have to get my equipment now. I'm making me a shopping list.
this is actually fascinating.
oh, tell me more. I don't like when you say it's
Well,
fascinating.
well,
Scary, isn't it?
Yes.
so There are some okay, I see the grooves in the stylus now. That's interesting. I couldn't tell what those were at first. Um, and I would have to rotate things to print correctly because it puts it on the plate where it's hinged open and it wouldn't print well. Let me put it like that. But the model looks good. Okay.
For a first rendering, is it pretty on point for the first like
Yes,
pass through?
actually, it is.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, I shouldn't yell on a YouTube stream, but like, guys, we literally are working on designing a slate and stylus right here live on a Learn to Code Tuesday, and that is ridiculously cool if you ask me. Ridiculous. It's
Okay.
ridiculous in the
So,
best way.
yeah,
It's
But
awesome.
it is.
question here, what is the because again, I have quite a bit of usable vision, so I've never used a slate and stylus. What is the end use for a slate and stylus? Is it a way
You can write
to
Braille essentially. So, um, it's so I don't know as many people in America that use them. I mean, I'm sure there's lots and lots, but most of the people I know that use them live abroad. It's like it produces Braille like a Braille writer would, except for it's a slate and you're holding a stylus in your hand and you're poking the dots, the Braille dots, through a piece of paper that's inside the stylus. I'm maybe not the best explainer at it
Oh,
ever, but it's
okay.
it's a way to
I
write.
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah.
way to basically create Braille by hand.
Hmm.
And styluses are usually either metal or plastic. The hard part for me is that you have to poke the Braille dots backwards. Like your L is dots. You got to basically poke your dots backwards because what happens is you take the paper out of the slate and the Braille is on the back basically.
Hmm.
So you're writing backwards, sort of.
okay.
I'm not the best at explaining it. I was taught the slate and stylus, but I never caught on. It was never natural to me. But um, I find in my foundation, because for those who don't know and are watching this YouTube later, the Laurel Wheeler Foundation does international work for the blind and visually impaired all over the world with resources and technology and stuff. We work here in America too, but we've done a lot of work all over the world. And there's a lot of demand for slate and styluses because they are lower cost by far than Braille writers, traditional Braille writers. And they're a lot easier to replace if they break.
Hmm.
And so I've had a lot of people internationally request them. And so Taylor and I, before we went live, we were just talking about one of my dreams for the foundation is to get grant money or raise the money and create things like 3D printed slate and styluses and white canes and things like that. And Americans and people in the West may or may not need them, but for people in like maybe they will, but for people in really low income countries that literally can't afford anything, it's going to help me help them a lot easier. So anyway, that's essentially a slate and stylus allows a blind person to write by hand, and there's several different sizes, Jackie. Some of them you can only write a couple lines at a time before you have to unclip the slate from the paper and move it down to keep writing. Some are full page, some are half page. And you can even use regular print pieces of paper to take notes. Some people like them to take notes in meetings or different things like that. People have their different styles. I've got a friend from Ukraine who was a foreign exchange student that lived with me when I was 12 with my family, and she can write just as quick with that as I can type almost. So it's a way to easily produce Braille by hand in mass if people know how to use it very well. By my own admission, I suck at writing with the slate and stylus. I
I do
suck.
too.
So I never use it, but it's because I can't produce Braille that quickly. I would much rather type. But I know plenty of blind people that can just write as fast as anyone else can in print or type, and it's awesome. Kudos to them. If you're out there, kudos to you. But that's what it is.
Okay,
Let's
so just so
go.
people know, I sent Taylor a prompt to tell AI on how we can improve this model.
And so I'm going to take it. And since I'm on my Mac, I copied it from my phone.
Unknown.
And then I'm going to go here
Download
to.
history. CapCut column 2 Zoom social
Okay.
dash learn to code
Oh,
accessible line
accessible.
braille line slate line accessible.
I
And
mean,
then
guys,
I
how
go-
ridiculously cool is this? You're literally
Input.
watching us make something.
ST right pair
You
30.
know?
Explore.
It's
Back
so
download.
cool.
Oh.
Backslash
that's it.
backslash back
Let
backslash
me
L.
fix that. Okay. I thought it copied, but it did not copy. Let me copy. Of course, on a live demo, it's not going to copy Michael's prompt. Let me quickly copy it real quick. Come on. Let's go.
Dot adjust these. May please.
Aha. So this is Michael's prompt for you
Out of
guys.
editor clickable chat input. Type to ask questions or type slash for topics. Press enter to send out the request. Use Alt plus F1 for chat accessibility help. Editor has autocomplete multi-line. Use this prompt. This model should be 3D printed and the slate should be able to be printed where
Oh,
both
okay.
top and bottom can lay flat. Also, the stylus should be able to be flat on the build plate. Please make these adjustments.
Okay,
That's Michael's
remove
prompt.
use this prompt because that was
Use
for
this out of
you.
editor clickable chat input.
Okay. I'm going to
Bottom can
remove
lay
it.
flat. The 3 use it. Make it explain.
I
Make
did
it
that on
slanted with a
purpose.
pen to the blind for
but-
be able to use and style plate. Please make these adjustments. Use this prompt. This model should
Hold
blank
on.
dot. Adjust these make. Dot flat and top both where print B to table B should use this prompt should model this dot prompt this use this
There we
select dot selected space
Okay.
this model should unselected chat request sent working
So now I press enter. And you see
Progress.
now it's going to make it work again. But sometimes Michael,
Working.
he'll send me the prompt like, hey, this
Progress.
is what needs to happen. The other day for Easter, how many models did
Progress.
I make, Michael? Like 4, 3?
A lot.
How many? Yeah. Oh, too many to count.
progress
And honestly, after you
working.
modify a model several times,
Progress.
and if it's not giving what you want, it's best to start over because after a while
Yes.
the
Progress.
AI just gets confused.
Yeah.
Progress. Progress.
I have a feeling this one will do well, though.
Progress. 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 Progress.
Come on. You're almost there.
Progress. Out of clickable accessible line braille line slate line and line stylus dot scad. Toolbar button buttons out of tool clickable thinking. Button collapsed. Button search code base for quote braille slate assembly and positioning for 3D printing quote 13 results progress.
So searching, code
Button
base,
collapsed. Progress. Clickable thinking.
thinking, working, all that stuff. It's going to come
Progress.
out with it. I have a feeling it's going to be all right. We'll see.
Progress. 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 Clickable. I've analyzed your braille slate and stylus model and identified what changes are needed to make it. Progress. 3D dash printable with all parts lying flat on the build plate. Currently the model is set up to display and assemble view with the top plate rotated at an angle and the stylus designed with a progress 30-degree slant. I'll modify the code to create a print-ready version where each component lies flat on the build plate while preserving the functionality of your design. Here's what I'll change: progress. List with 4 items. 1. Create a separate module for printing layout. Progress. 2. Modify the stylus to be printable flat. 3. Position all parts left parent, top plate, bottom plate, hinge pin, stylus right parent, spread out on the build plate. Progress. 4. Keep the original assembly view available as an option. Working. Out of list clickable accessible line braille line slate line and line stylus dot scad plus 78-11. Progress. Clickable working.
So yeah, do you see how it said what it's going to
Progress.
change? We'll see if it actually does it, but
Mm-hmm.
Progress. I'll help you modify the 3D model so that both
Okay,
parts
here
of
we
the slate
go.
left parent, toolbar retry button, keep button,
I already read
edit,
this. So
application, button done, chat input, type to files explore, accessible line braille line slate line and line, main landmark, 89,
Okay.
download history dash Google Chrome, toolbar, open scad,
Now I'm going to go to my.
undefined grouping of spin button editable, spin button editable 4, spin button edit, no
Oh
print,
yeah, and you can
out of list
change
buttons,
the length and width.
clickable list editable opens tree, clickable editor content semi press alt, editor, slash star
Copy
star
this,
accessible braille slate and stylus
get rid
star
of
star
it.
slash select.
Replace it, and then I'm going to
Button editor
render.
menu. Switch on. Switch on. Switch on.
Hold on, let me
Switch
find
on.
it.
Switch on. Button editor menu. Undefined grouping render button.
Working on it. There we go. That is the new version. Not sure if it's any good, but
That already looks much better.
It does.
Yes. Okay,
For
go ahead
sure
and put
you
in. Go ahead and send it to me, and we will try to. I will take a look in the rendering software.
Grouping grip line spin button editable 30. Undefined button editor switch on. Switch on. Switch on. No previous button.
let me
Switch
sign
on. Switch
up.
on. Button editor
I have a
menu.
new view. I'm not used to this
Undefined
view.
grouping of download STL button. Download STL button. This dialog is not download button your link row column 3 button copy download link button show and
Okay,
download dash file to date group date mod export left parent 34 right parent
export
download history
34.
dash Google Chrome dash Taylor toolbar accessible line
90%.
braille line accessible line
Let me see.
desktop list Mac files dash 5 iCloud
Okay.
column 2
Kept it open.
items view list 3D 1 3D items view
There we
export
go.
left parent Taylor's cross dot export left parent 34 right parent dot STL 31 of 31.
And I've even made like things with multiple. So we made these like Easter Christian crosses, and there was like I made so that there could be 18 on one plate instead of just one at a time. So I've done a whole bunch of different things. There you go. Michael, do you see the file?
Yes, I do. I'm opening it now.
Hopefully this works and we could show the real thing.
Okay. So, um, this looks fine, except for the stylus is pointing up in the air instead of laying down flat. But I think it could still print.
Okay.
Well, I worry about the stylus falling over because it's very thin and narrow.
Okay, here's my immediate question. Does it really matter? Because isn't somebody just going to be holding the stylus in their hand to be
When it prints though.
It's when you print the item out. It's if it will actually hold up while it's being printed out on the printer, because it has to stick and adhere as work is being done to it.
Oh, I got you. See, hey guys, I'm learning live, okay? I've never really gotten to talk through these kinds of designs to anyone. So, yeah, I'm with you now. I'm just like, I'm learning.
But curiosity will kill the cat here.
Yeah. So
Michael,
are you
would
gonna
you not be able to would you, and I'll freely admit I don't know a lot about 3D printing. Would you have to create all three or four of those pieces at the same time for economies of scale, or can you break it out and print each piece individually?
So Taylor would have to make 3 different models for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I want to see what happens.
And I'm
So
gonna open my door so that we can
Don't
hear
we
what's
all
going
want
on.
to see what happens? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Don't we?
My door is open, so that way when you guys, maybe you'll hear the beep. The printer makes a beep when. So Michael's gonna. Do you want to explain how you do this, Michael? Like all the
So I
settings you
have a
select.
piece of software on my iPhone called Anchor Make or Eufy Make now.
You can make, yeah.
And the printer is on and it's right now cold. And I'm about to press a big green button.
Always press the big green button, never the big red one.
Did you hear that beep?
So it's sending the model to the printer now. It's taking a minute.
It always does.
Not always, but this time it is.
What are you guys printing with? What's your medium? I know that different 3D printers can print with all kinds of stuff. So what are you guys
We're
printing with?
printing with a plastic called PLA Plus, and it's a white. I'm printing with a white colored filament. on this one.
Awesome. I mean, I know what that is. I just figure, like, somebody inevitably is going to watch this and wonder. So,
It's called
worth asking.
polylactic acid, I believe, and it's
Yes.
made by corn or cornstarch.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I just figure, like, for those who may watch this later and wonder, well, what are you 3D printing with? You know what I mean? We
And
may
the
know,
brand
those
is
of us that look
poly.
into 3D printing, but I want to make sure that we don't forget to tell the new people who don't know that. I don't want to assume that everybody knows that.
90% sliced. That's a complex model, so it's taking a while to slice this. Hopefully, it hadn't frozen.
Oh, that was sick.
You know how technology can get.
so Taylor, you said something about you were doing something on your Mac or using your Mac or your Windows.
So right now I'm actually using. You hear that beep? Maybe you
Yes.
can't.
Yeah.
That was I
Yeah.
canceled it just because it looks like it was.
Are you gonna restart it?
Yeah, but it's acting like it's doing something. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, it was
Let's.
moving it's doing something. I'm not sure what it was.
So yes, I am using a Mac, but then I have Windows on it, and I'm using a virtual machine, and the software is called
Oh, I
Parallels.
see. I see what
And
you.
the reason I'm doing that is because A, I'm an iOS app developer, have to have a Mac.
Mm-hmm.
B, a lot of my stuff is like Apple ecosystem. And C, like if Michael texts me or anybody, I could just
Yes.
copy from my phone. It will paste into my Parallels.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were, and then I was like, but maybe she's using a VM, so that's what you're doing. Okay, I
Yep.
got you. I was thinking about setting up one of my Macs like that too.
And Parallels is the way to go if you want speed, and it's the official supported way through Microsoft.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
How
Parallel. Okay.
accessible is, well, I mean, obviously it's very accessible, but like, if somebody is brand new and they wanted to get started with parallels, whatever, and they wanted to know how to make that happen in an accessible environment or set that up accessibly, where's the best resource to go?
Well, to be honest with you, Parallels is not very accessible. That's just
Ah.
the truth. But there's a program called VOCR that
Oh
makes it to where you
yeah.
can do everything with Parallels.
So, I mean, I don't want to go off on a massive tangent, but like if I, for example, ever wanted to run Parallels and VOCR and set it up on my Mac, for example, I mean, I've got a little mini PC, but like, if I ever did or if somebody else did, where do we go to learn how to make this happen? Or do you guys have a course?
I think Taylor's done a YouTube video in the past on using VOCR to set up Parallels. It's been a while.
It was on the Techopolis channel, and it was like when I was literally first starting, I was like messing around with it. I haven't done an official tutorial. Um, but I have to. I'm just busy.
Yeah. So
Michael,
VOCR and Parallels. I'll at
Okay.
least make sure that we've dropped the nuggets for people to go follow that rabbit trail.
yeah.
That's enough actually. So thanks for mentioning the VOCR is necessary to set it up because
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Like, I mean, my thing is like whenever we go off on a little bit of a rabbit trail, doing our learn to code, I mean, I know we don't have time to just change topic and go full in to this, but I feel like whenever we do that and we go off on a little rabbit trail, it's good to at least leave enough crumbs so that if somebody was watching this and wanted to go learn more, they would know what to Google or search for. You know what I mean?
For
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And are you guys on Parallels? Are you guys using NVDA or JAWS?
Right now I've got NVDA, but I also can do JAWS. I just have
Okay.
NVDA because this is really my development machine. Michael, how's the
Yeah.
model coming?
Um,
Is it working?
So it is failing to render.
Oh no.
Hey, this is the gem of a live demo. We can figure this out together.
But I think probably the issue is in the stylus. And I would it may be because I feel like it has grooves, but I feel like not everything's fully together. So it's probably having a hard time with the stylus. So I'm wondering if we need to improve the design of the stylus.
Also, should we print the slate and the stylus separate?
It's probably best to put them together because if we make different model files, then the AI may not make the right measurements
Oh, I
for.
gotcha. I gotcha.
Okay. Well, can you tell me? Let me go to my
Num lock
editor.
on.
Oops.
Accessible line.
How should we improve
Slash
it?
star accept. Chat input.
What I
Or do you
would
want to
say
send me a
is
prompt? Oh, Michael, I lost you.
tell AI to
I hear him.
remove the grooves from the stylus.
Okay, let me voice
Toolbar.
chat.
Start voice chat. Chat input. Type.
Remove the grooves from the stylus.
Chat request sent. Working.
There we go. It's just easier.
Progress.
Even a lot of sighted developers
Working.
just use voice chat because like it's
Progress.
easier.
Yeah.
Out of it. Clickable. Accessible line. Braille line.
But
Slate line
sorry
and
about
line
this,
C.
y'all. It's
Progress.
taking a lot of time. We kind of went on a tangent.
Toolbar button. Select tools. Left parent button. Out of tool. Click
Let
a
me see
button.
how it
Disable
goes.
current file context. Progress. No next heading.
Oops.
Chat list clickable with one item. GitHub copilot heading level 3. Progress. Clickable. I'll remove the grooves from the stylus design. The stylus currently has texture created by diagonal grooves in the grip section, which I'll remove while keeping the rest of the functionality. Progress intact. Button search code base for quote stylus texture groove pattern code implementation quote 13 results. Collab clickable. I found the code sections that implement the stylus texture with diagonal grooves. Now I'll remove progress these grooves from both the printable line stylus and angled line stylus modules in the file while keeping the rest of the functionality intact. Progress. Clickable accessible line braille line slate line and line stylus dot stat applying edits left parent 36% right parent. Progress.
So yeah, that sounds right. Well, hopefully I want to be able to show how to actually print
Progress.
this. We'll
Yeah.
see. I think we'll be able to get this working.
Progress.
But if this works in 3 tries, that's not bad.
Progress.
No.
Working. Progress. 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 Clickable working. Clickable angled clickable accessible line braille line slate line and line stylus dot stat plus 1-14. Clickable. Now I'll remove the grooves from the angled line stylus module as well since this version is used for progress display / assembly view. Clickable accessible line braille line slate line and line stylus dot stat apply and edits left parent 19% right parent. Progress.
There's applying edits, doing all that stuff, and then we'll do the process again and we'll
Progress.
see how this works.
Progress.
I think this will work.
Progress.
We'll see. But the fact is, you can make a lot of things, and there's even sites
Progress.
like printables or things like that you can actually there's a blind category of different accessories.
You
But
can
again,
put
some of those
braille on
you
them and
can't
everything.
sell. Yep. And I made braille dice that have
Progress.
braille, and they're actually tactile dice.
Mhm.
So anybody can play them blind or
Progress.
sighted. They have raised
Dude, that's
lines.
so cool. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. The point
Progress.
is, we can make a lot of blindness things with 3D printing.
Progress.
I think the real barrier to the fact that our community doesn't do a lot of that necessarily is because, well, one, cost of 3D printers, but also people don't know that it's accessible enough. But
Clickable
with minimal
item one,
support, we can. You know what I mean?
All right, so it's done.
Toolbar read retry button.
Yeah.
Keep button. Edits kept. Application button. Clear chat input. Type. Files explore. Accessible line braille line slate line and lines. Main.
All right, here we
7.
go. Let me paste it
Open
into
stat
the.
playground dash Google. Open stat grouping under spin button editable 6. Spin button editable. Spin button editable 4.
Okay, let me get out of this.
Spin button.
Go top
Out of region. Out of grouping link. Clickable list editable. Open clickable editor content semi editor
Okay.
/ stars. Tool. HTTPS. Drawer
Wait.
drawer hidden. Dev tools.
No, don't go to
Console clear.
developer tools.
/ star selection remove. /
What I
star
told you to do,
accessible braille
that's
select
it.
/ select.
I probably hit F12 or F11 or
Button
something.
editor menu. Switch on.
Okay.
Button editor undefined group render button.
How is that? Better? Worse? The same?
That does look better.
Is there any issues, or do you want me to put it in the drive?
Go ahead and put it in the drive.
Okay, I hope this works because I
Grouping
want to
of the
actually
line
show
text
something.
download STL button.
Eventually,
Download
we'll get
STL
up to
button.
export 90 or something, you know?
God.
This dialog is not
And Michael, do you want to explain after I put this in the drive why we do iCloud Drive? Because people may be wondering, like,
button
why.
viewer link table with row 1 column 3 button copy download link.
It seems to sync
Button
better,
code
so we
folder.
could use it
Code
on our
download
iPhone.
file items
So I
view link.
can bring it to my
Export left
iPhone and
parent.
take a look.
Download it. Open
Yeah.
stat desktop list. Mac files dash file home column iCloud. Items view D developer Comcast backup from accessible not accessible
3D
notepad 11 white 100 that 3D prints 1 of 1. Items
Here
view.
we go.
Export left parent 35 right parent .stl
35.
32.
I didn't think we'd be doing this today, but hey, it's a good thing. You know, I love to make things.
This is fun.
There you go, Michael. And there's this nonprofit called IC3D or something that will actually help, like, if people can request models for like different things or school, and like it's volunteers to help make 3D models. I don't know much about them, but that is something that is around.
So do you guys have a list of recommended things that you need to buy to get started?
Just a good 3D printer is really the main thing you need,
and
and there,
filament.
yeah, and filament as well.
Yeah.
Quick question. Like, I doubt I would ever be making things that would justify the cost of owning a 3D printer. Are there any resources out there where if you, let's say you did make something and you're like, gosh, I'd really like to hold this, that they would return to you a finished 3D, let's call it a widget, like
Not that
for,
I am not sure.
I don't think there are very many, or if there are, they're like really expensive or they're not
okay.
accessible. But I mean, who knows, Michael? Maybe we can think about that at some point.
So there is something wrong with the complexity of this print, that is not working in the software to make this print. So something is being created that, and I've seen this on prints from other places, like the our printer is just not wanting to print this.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's, you know, I could quickly make a braille ruler. That might be easier.
Yeah, it might for this particular printer.
Let me
But
do
the
that
point
real
is, like, what if we could? This can
I
be
got an
made, you know?
idea. I got an idea.
Yeah, go for it. Come on.
Taylor, let's make a like a small plaque or a small thing that says "Learn to Code,"
Oh, dude.
or like a keychain or something like that. See if we can do that.
Oh, that
In
would be
braille.
cool.
No, just print.
Okay.
Raised print. Learn
Open
to code.
3D read. Oh, accept cap.
Okay.
That
And
way
do
we
you want
can
it to be
show
like
you
one of
guys
our
what a
coins?
full successful process is like. But
Mhm.
we'll keep working on the slate and stylus idea, like, at least because I really want to. I want to finish that project someday. But the
Me
point
too.
is, it can be done, right? Like, if the right printer was had that like wanted to print that thing out, and if enough time were spent, like these things can be done with coding. And all Taylor really needs, or all the person who's making it really needs, is somebody to visually check the design. But like with minimal support, a blind person can make stuff, you know? So,
Michael, yeah. Do you want me to make one of our coins,
No, just
or do you want me to just make a keychain?
make a keychain. Let's see if we can
Okay.
get it to make a learn to code keychain.
Oops, I got out of it somehow. Let me figure out where it went.
3D print.
Okay.
CapCut window. CapCut Pro window. CapCut.
Oh, stupid
System
software.
close.
I was trying
CapCut window.
new AI video editor and it did not work
Three
out very well.
CapCut
It's
Open.
refusing to close. There we go. Okay.
Accessible line. Braille line. Slate line. Accessible.
Let me make a new
Untitled.
file.
Chat input.
You don't have a specific shape, just a keychain?
A rectangular keychain.
Clickable
Okay.
toolbar. Start voice chat left. Chat input.
Make a rectangular keychain that says learn to code on it in raised print.
Chat
And
request
open
sent.
scan.
Working.
There we go. Okay.
Progress.
It already, so the good thing about this is it already has some like context. It already kind of knows how to do the keychain
Progress.
stuff. It has the models
Working.
in this folder, so I've been able to do
Progress.
keychains pretty easily.
Out of edit. Clickable current file. Clickable toolbar button. Buttons out of tool. Clickable thinking. Clickable let's create this design. Clickable thinking. Clickable let's create this. I'll help you create a rectangular keychain with quote learn to code quote and raised print using OpenSCAD. Progress. Let's create this design. Clickable thinking. Clickable I'll create a new OpenSCAD file for a rectangular keychain with raised text that says quote learn to. Progress. Code quote. Let me write clickable working. Progress.
So yeah, I think this might work out a lot easier. But hey, maybe when we get our new
Progress.
printer, we could do the bamboo, the slate and stylus because I want to finish that.
Working. Progress. Progress. I'll help
Are
you
you
create a
guys
rectangular
getting a new
keychain
one?
with quote learn to toolbar keep button. Unknown. Application. Button done. Chat input. Type
There we go.
Files Explorer 3. Accessible line. Braille line. Slate line L. Large line.
We're
Crystal.
getting one that can do
line to
multiple
line,
colors.
large learn line to
Ah,
line.
yes.
Mainland.
Yep.
6.
All right, we learned to code, and you
Cool.
notice that took a lot less to create.
OpenSCAD playground dash Google.
Mhm.
Took a lot less
Grouping
time.
undefined. Dot spin button editable 1.5.
All right, let me go back to the top
Out of
here.
region. Out of grouping link. Clickable list editable open. Clickable editor. Editor com. Slash
Let
start
me
slash.
try this again. Hopefully this works this
Parameters grouping.
time.
Download STL button.
Okay,
Button.
let me render it. Oh,
Render
this is
parameters
it.
grouping. Parameter render
Here we go.
button. Rendering unavailable.
How does this look, people?
Okay. It has the text. But the L is okay, I think I see the problem. And this happens with a lot of AI. And that is that it will add the text as a layer above the thing that you're printing. So it's actually hovering in the air over
Oh wow.
the keychain. This is
We
why
can
we have
fix
to
that.
visually check.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So if you went back to the AI that you used to create this file and you told it, hey, put the text on 2 lines, have it say learn to on the first line and then in the second line code, would it do that?
You could do that, but that's not the issue here. The issue
Okay.
is that it's the
It's like
text
over
is
the. It's not. Wouldn't you
yeah,
have to say like to put this on the front of the keychain or?
you'd have to say attach this to. You'd have to say attach the lettering to the keychain. It is currently not connected to the shape.
Yeah, I feel like you'd have to specify to the AI, I want this on the front of the shape or, attach the two. Like you'd have to get specific. But yeah, this is why we need a pair of eyeballs to check. But she's gonna make it
Because
happen.
go ahead, Taylor.
Do you want to like send me a prompt, or do you want me to just say something and get the AI?
Just say that the text appears to
Learn
be
line to line code.
unattached to the model to the keychain. Please make sure that it is built into the keychain model itself.
Chat actions toolbar undo last request
Okay.
button unavailable. Clickable chat input. Clickable toolbar start voice chat. Chat input.
The text appears to not be attached to the keychain. Ensure that it's on the keychain and not over, and that is attached.
Chat request sent. Working.
There we go. Okay, something like that might work. We'll see
Progress.
if it works or not. And I've been able to do this before, but that's why like when you're doing a new model, you have to make
Progress.
sure that.
Otherwise, the keychain itself looks pretty nice. Like it's
Progress.
That's a fundraiser for Laurel.
Progress.
Here we go.
Working. Progress. progress. Out of clickable learn line to line code line keychain dot scat colon 1-53. I look at the code for your learn line to line code line keychain dot scat file and fix the issue with the text appearing to not be attached to the keychain. Looking at the code, I can see that the text is being positioned on top of the keychain base, but it might not be properly attached or might appear detached when rendered. The issue is likely with how the text is being added as a separate element. Let me disable clickable toolbar clickable.
Oh, well, let me see what happened. Okay. There we go. Okay, let me accept it.
Out of toolbar clickable chat input. Out of editor click toolbar clickable pick model left parent CTRL plus alt plus.
Hold on,
Clickable toolbar start voice chat clickable disable current file toolbar add context left parent C clickable chat input type to ask out of edit clickable current file clickable toolbar button add button select tools out of toolbar C colon back clickable toolbar select tools left parent CTRL plus view all edits button do button keep button.
There we go.
Application
Brain
button
fart.
done chat input type to
There we go.
files explore large line Christian line Easter learn line to line code line main land
Here's the keychain.
open stat.
Let
Zoom.
me try
Open
this
stat
again.
grouping parameters. Spin button editable 5.
Really.
Spin button editable. Spin button editable. Spin button editable 25.
So these are like the parameters, and you can adjust the parameters in the software itself. So.
Out of region, out of grouping, clickable list editable opens clickable editor content semi editor / learn to code keychain semi.
All right. Please work.
Out of editor out link for clickable switch on button editor menu parameters group render button.
What about now?
It has not changed. Did you add the file again?
Yeah.
It has not changed it. Go ahead and put it in the drive and let's see what we get.
Okay.
Out of editor list editable.
Sometimes tech is cranky, especially when we're trying to demo it, isn't
it? Button switch on switch no previous switch button list editable open editor content.
Let's see if find the
button editor menu.
But I wonder why it's not doing
switch
that.
Switch on.
You know, I could try it with like ChatGPT or
switch
something.
on. Button edit parameters group download menu button collapsed sub menu. Download STL unavailable.
You know, I'm really curious, like what kind of results you'd get from the different AI models. Well, I mean, that's
row 1, column 1,
not
link,
to play.
column
I mean, we don't have time to play with that whole thing right now, but like, you know, if you were to play with GPT, Grok, Claude, Gemini, and Copilot, and see what kind of images encoding each one rendered and which one was the best at this, that'd be an interesting side little, I don't know, game.
Export left parent 30.
There you go, Michael. Yeah, and like I said, I want to make sure this works because I'm determined to show you the process because this also highlights the back and forth, right? It's not just it's not a one-shot thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like this is impactful to learn to code stuff too, because it also highlights how to use coding in a real life application to make something, you know? Like not just a computery something, but like to literally make something. It's so cool.
So what do you see in the drive, Michael?
Just a second.
Okay.
And
Probably terrible.
so the letters are actually attached.
Oh.
The issue, and actually those are really neat letters. Oh my gosh, that looks cool.
Okay, what's the problem?
The problem is that the letters go off both sides. So the keychain is not big enough to hold all of the letters.
So do I make the keychain bigger?
Yeah, you'll need to make the keychain bigger on each side so that all of the letters can fit. So the rectangle needs to be repositioned so that the L and the E are fit in the rectangle.
But we're close.
Download.
Yes, we really are.
Download.
And that's why
Toolbar.
I want
Open
to
stat
finish
plate.
this. I want to show you guys.
Learn like
So,
translate left parent left bracket width dash rating.
shoot.
1734
Let
slash
me see.
Eric.
Hold on. I
1734
think I
character select semi.
screwed it up. At least I have the code pasted.
Blank. Blank.
Or not.
Open
Hold
stat
on.
playground. Open stat grouping parameters region spin button
I don't know
editable
what I
50.
just did. Oh, you know what?
Spin
Here we
button
go.
edit spin button edit spin button spin button
Luckily,
edit.
I have the code
No
in
previous
the.
edit field. Out of list playlist editable opens 3. Clickable editor content set
There
editor
we go. I have the
slash
code in this version.
circle learn line
The other, because I
slash
accidentally got rid of
17.
it. There we go.
Chat input type to add.
Okay. So
Clickable toolbar start voice chat left. Chat input type.
make the rectangle bigger so that the L and E don't go off each side.
Chat request sent. Working.
We're close though.
Progress.
I'm excited about this. And it won't take long to print, so we'll be able to
Progress.
show you know how that works.
Out of clickable current file. Progress. Working. Progress. Clickable toolbar button add buttons out of C call out of list button undo. No next heading.
What
Chat
is
list clickable with
different?
one item GitHub copy clickable. I'll help you adjust the keychain dimension so the text fits better within the rectangle. Let me make the rectangle wider to ensure the quote L quote and quote E quote don't go off the edges. Clickable learn line to line code line keychain dot scat plus 1-1. Clickable perfect. I've increased the width of the keychain from 60 millimeters to 70 millimeters, which should provide more. Toolbar read aloud retry button.
Okay, I guess it worked. So let me go
Keep
ahead
button.
and
Edits kept.
render.
Application button done. Click chat input type to files explorer.
Just gotta go
Large
back
line Christian
here.
line large line Christian large learn line to line code main landmark.
So yeah, there's a lot of different
Open
files.
stat playground dash Google Chrome dash out of editor list editable opens clickable editor content set
So let me put this in here,
semi until
and then
slash
we're
slash
gonna
learn
try
to
it.
code
Okay.
out of
So
editor
then
click
let
link
me
clickable switch on switch
render.
button editor menu parameters render button render
Okay.
button rendering unavailable.
And go. That's what we got.
Okay, let me take a look. That's funny. I opened my own Safari window and instead of you looking at yours. It did better, but it's still not quite wide enough.
What's hanging off?
Still part of the L, and the E or the D is where the hole is for the keychain.
Damn. Okay, I thought I had this down. Should I try another model maker, or are we doing that one?
No, just keep telling it to expand the width.
Learn line to line. Learn line.
I think
we
it
gotta
said the
fix the
width.
Out of
keychain.
clickable learn line to line clickable chat input type to
Yeah, just
The
tell it to
D
make
on the
it.
keychain.
I would tell it to increase the size of the keychain portion by 20%.
Yep.
Okay.
toolbar start voice chat left
Thank
chat
you. Increase the keychain portion by 20%.
chat request sent working.
There. We'll see if that works. But I mean, we're close.
Progress.
And like, I never, before this, I
Progress.
started 3D printing. I never had experience with CAD, none of that. So this is like, I learned it all
Progress.
self-taught, YouTube, AI.
I will have to run for just a minute, guys, and I'll be back.
Okay.
Michael Dwaz has left the meeting alert. Progress. Progress. Working. Progress. I'll increase the keychain portion by 20%. To do this, keychain dash specifically the width, height, and thickness parameters. I'll increase the keychain clickable thinking. Clickable thinking. Clickable
All right,
keychain
let's
dash
see.
specifically the width, height, and thickness parameters. Clickable. I'll increase all dimension thickness. Hold clickable learn line to line. Clickable. I've increased the keychain portion by exact toolbar read retry button. Keep
I
button.
want to make sure at least
Application button
bigger
done.
too, so
Chat
it
input type to
good as
files
well.
explore. Large line Christian learn line to line code main.
So here's learn to code. Let me.
Zoom social dash learn to code with free open scat playground document button download S. T parameters
This
grouping
is
parameter spin button
code.
edit spin button edits no previous edit out of list editable opens 3 clickable editor contents editor dot learn blank learn / render button editor menu switch on no previous button switch on button parameters group render button render
There's
button
render. All right, and go. That's what we got. So once Michael gets back,
That didn't really help.
Didn't really help.
Yeah, it's still hanging off. It
Okay,
increased the
here's
size
let's
of
Learn line to
everything
line
by
code line keychain dot
20%.
stat dash file
let's try
large
this.
line Christian learn line to line main
Let's try opening it in
Zoom social dash
ChatGPT
learn to code open stat
because this is
new
not
tab
working. So
E selection room chat GPT E A S space E R space A S space E space L E T E R S space O A R space O N space U space D O O space Y U B space N N space A N space D O N tick space H A N G space O F F space
I don't hang off.
chat.
Okay, there we
Out
go.
of heading
So I
learn
just
line to line
pasted the
code line
code
key
in.
heading level 6 chat GPT to ensure all the letters are fully on the keychain and not hanging off. The width must accommodate the entire chat GPT quote learn to code quote text string when centered. Your current setup uses Hallen equals quote center quote and a width of 84 millimeters. However, with chat GPT font line size equals 10, depending on the font left parent, especially quote liberation sans colon style equals bold quote right parent, the text might extend beyond the bound slightly. Chat GPT heading level 3 fixed strategy colon list with 3 items. 1. Increase width slightly to guarantee margin space on either side. 2. Or adjust text left parent right parent alignment so it starts a bit more inward if you don't want to enlarge the whole keychain. 3. Optionally use text line metrics left parent right parent to dynamically fit text, but that's not natively supported in OpenSCAD. Out of list separator. Heading level 3 checkmark button updated code suggestion colon. Here's a version with an increased width and minor padding to ensure the text doesn't touch the edges colon. SCAD. Clickable button copy. Keychain text.
Okay.
OpenSCAD playground dash
Let's
grouping
try it
parameters
this
region spin button
time.
editable fifth.
Again, normally I'd like read through the code, but if I'm not familiar, I'm kind of doing it like I used to.
Spin button edits. No preview
And you could
clickable editor
also
content
adjust
parameters
in
grouping
the
parameters region
software.
spin clickable editor slash dev
Oh,
tools document.
excellent.
Console prompt edit as autocomplete mode.
Make it
Keychain text adjustment SCAD.
Okay.
Clickable button copy. Zoom social dash learn to code with
I think I
keychain text
closed
learn
out
learn
of
line keychain
Yeah, I think I
new tab
closed
dash
out
O
of
O P N S C A D space
No
T
worries.
playground selected. Google.com slash search Q equal nav main clickable OpenSCAD playground.
The
Link
OpenSCAD
fork me on
playground.
link fork me on link clickable list editable open tree clickable editor content editor slash star hello line
All
feed
right, here we go. Let's try this one more time. Okay, so then
button
I'll
editor
render
menu
it.
switch off button render button rendering
Oh,
live
I gotta
out of
give
read
it
live
a
announcements read out of region burst translate blank no next checkbox download STL button button edit switch off switch on edit switch on view switch off switch on.
Okay, how does that? Is that better?
It's right up to the edge of the keychain.
So is it hanging off
It's not hanging off, but it's right up to the edge
on either side?
on both sides.
All right. So it's a little bit better, not great. So let's fix it.
Keychain
So-
text adjustment doc clickable section mode V E A S E space T space I N T space H A N G I N G space O F F space B U space I space I space R I G A space A space E D G E space S U E space T A E R E space R O O M space A N space L E T E R S space A R space N O T space O S space E space E D G E S. Chat GPT is
Okay,
out of blank. Heading level 6 chat GPT
there we
dot.
go. Let's do
Heading
it.
got M dash. You want to center the text and make sure there's chat GPT is still generate visual padding so no part of any letter is flush with or too close to the edge. Two wheel colon. List with keep the text centered. Chat G bullet. Add. Horizontal padding by either increasing the width or reducing the font size slightly. Bullet. Ensure a minimum margin of tilde 4 and dash 5 millimeters on each side between the text and the keychain edge. Chat G out of list separator. Heading level 3 checkmark button ideal fix left parent. Maintains fonts will keep your font line clickable copy button. Keychain text adjustment doc.
Let's see.
OpenSCAD.
So ChatGPT can do
No
sometimes
previous edit
pretty
field.
good.
Clickable list editable open clickable editor content semi editor slash
It
slash updated
depends.
parameter line feed
It all depends.
button editor menu
Whatever
switch on.
what you're doing.
button parameters group render button
Looks better.
Is it good to go?
It's good to go, except that your keychain hole is going to be through your E in code.
Oh, okay. Let me fix it.
So
keychain text
maybe,
adjustment clickable
yeah.
What do you want me to do? Like make it?
I don't know.
Is the whole? Let's see.
no next edit field main landmark section multi-line TAE space
Let's see.
space E 8 T H 8 double T H space K E Y C H A E space L O O P space I space G O H space T A R E space E E T A E space E space P L A S space D O N T E space A V space H S space chat GPT
Okay, let's see
out
what
of
it
slash
does.
heading the keychain loop is going
We're
through the E.
close,
Please
though.
don't have this.
I'm gonna make sure I get this word right. I mean, we're
Chat
close.
GPT
Not
is still
great,
generating a response.
but We're
Heading,
gonna
thanks for
fix it.
catching 10 millimeters from the right edge, which overlaps the end of the text M dash, especially the chat
It's
GPT
like,
is still
thanks for
generating a
catching
response. Left
that.
quote, right quote, and left quote
Yeah.
code. Right quote to fix this while keeping everything clean and functional, colon. Chat heading level 3 check mark button what we'll do, colon. List with 3 items. 1. Move the keyring goal to the far corner left parent, right edge plus top or center right parent. Chat 2. Ensure it stays fully clear of the text by placing it outside the text area. 3. Maintain symmetry and aesthetics for both usability out of list heading level 3 check mark button up clickable copy button clickable button edit. / update clickable button cop keychain text
Okay.
open scan playground
Let's
document
try
button
it now.
parameters grouping spin button edit clickable list editable opens tree clickable editor editor
This is the
line
process. You know, this is what we go through.
out of editor click out link for
Sometimes
me
better
clickable
than
switch
others.
on button edit parameters grouping render button.
Hopefully that's better. Who knows? Is it detached, Jackie, or do you see it?
I see it. It off-centered the keyhole.
It off-centered it?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Because remember, this is the problem with AI. It just
text
doesn't.
adjustment tool
We're
blank
just gonna start over.
selection remove section multi M K space
Like I said,
Y.
this is like a
space
work in progress, you know? Like this is part of the
Yep.
process, how you make stuff, you know?
O E N S C A space I dot space dot T H C E X E A R S E O C O D space O S dot E dot space N U R space N O T H H T O N N O space E T T E R S space A R E space N G I S space O F space N space I T space I S space I D space E N O U G H space open style out of heading it is wide enough heading here's an open scat script for a
We're gonna try this
keychain with the
again.
text quote learn the code quote on it the keychain colon raised text that fits properly without hanging off the edges. Scad clickable button copy keychain opens
I have a
learn
feeling
line
when I start over,
opens
it's
open
gonna be
scan
like,
playground document button download parameters group spin button spin button clickable list editable opens clickable editor
remember I
/
started
updated
from
line
like Claude to ChatGPT, so it's a little bit better. We'll see
button
if it
editor
works.
menu
Let
download
me
STL
render
button
it.
menu button collapsed sub download button editor menu switch on
Let's see. Let me
switch
try
button
to
download menu
render.
button collapsed sub 1 button settings button open license no next button
Hold on, I think
My-
it's being
button setting 1 button menu download button editor menu switch on no previous button
I just
edit
started
switch on
over.
view button clickable out of list playground download STL button menu button collapsed sub menu button 1 button settings menu button open license no next button
Number one away. Let me
Appended
refresh
dash
this.
playground 1 of 6 clickable button toolbar blank
That's better.
selection remove O P N S C A D
I
space
gotta
selection
like get out of it because it froze up.
P L A ground select
Like I
search
can't
appended playground
enter
navigate main
anything.
open scat playground edit
That one
open
looks
scat
much
yeah.
better.
clickable link clickable list editable open
It
clickable
does.
editor slash
Yeah,
star
that
line
looked much better.
Here you go. Well, oh yeah, I gotta render it. Hold on.
translate left pair render button rendering unavailable
Maybe. Wait a minute. What the heck? Okay.
live out of region live announcement switch
I said
clickable list editable
two.
open tree clickable editor / parameters keychain line feed out of list editable render button rendering unavailable
Go. Now it's just not doing anything at all.
Now, the one you had up there right whenever I joined was pretty good, actually.
Dang it. Okay.
toolbar address and search bar edit as auto
Yeah. Sometimes the software just doesn't render it. Like it says
open
it's
scan
rendered.
playground button
Then it.
button 1 buttons button open light no next button
Like I almost
buttons
did
1
it,
button
but
render
I started completely over.
live
Go.
out of region button render clickable editor
That's too bad because the one that you had was looking
open
pretty good. The fonts were good.
out of
Everything.
clickable
And I have the
Slash,
code.
slash,
The
line.
thing is, I have the code, but I can't render.
out of
Oh, you
list
know
edit
what
out
I
of
can
render
do?
button 1 button render rendering unavailable
Do you see sometimes where it feels like I hit a daily usage limit on some of these software? Because
tool
I'll try the other
It
one.
says there's an error in your code.
10 11
Oh, is there?
HTTP open switch on view button 1 button render live announcement out of region graphic 3D live announcements out of region graphic 3D clickable editor content semi-linear line translate left parent left editor
Let me make sure I have it copied.
learn line to line code learn line to line keychain open scan clickable button copy keychain open
Copy.
open scan playground dash google / line feed out of list editable access with link fork me on GitHub
That might have
link
worked.
fork me on GitHub clickable switch on edit
View.
switch on link fork me on GitHub clickable switch on
They rendered
on.
it.
It
Is
did
that
render
better,
it.
Michael?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Is that?
Ooh,
Do you want me to put it in the drive?
The E is hanging off the side.
Oh
Switch
my
off.
god.
Customize. Switch view.
Seriously.
Switch
Oh my
off.
god.
On.
Hold
On.
I started over and
Keychain
everything.
open stat. Learn line. Keychain open stat.
Okay.
Clickable but clickable. Mate space 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 A-A-N-G-I-N-G space O-F space A-S-I-D. Out of blank.
He's
Heading level
hanging off
6.
the
Thanks for
screen.
blank. Heading level 6 ChatGPT. Thanks for catching that. The issue is
Thanks
likely
for
due to the text
catching
size
that.
and alignment not accounting for. ChatGPT font spacing and margins properly. Let's fix it by increasing the overall keychain width and also nudging the text slightly inward for safety. ChatGPT here's the updated list with 3 items. Wider base to bullet. Slight text padding so nothing hangs off. Chat clickable copy button.
We'll
Keychain
see
open
about
SCAD
that.
design SCAD button copied. Learn
We
line.
will
Open
see.
open SCAD view.
I doubt it.
Link
It's probably
clickable
not
list
really.
editable open clickable editor content editor
Okay.
slash
So
dot
now, here we go. Okay. I gotta render it still. Or if
parameters
it'll
grouping render
automatically
button
render.
button render rendering unavailable.
It's probably hanging off still, isn't it?
No,
No.
it is
Oh, is there a
not.
problem? Hopefully there's not a
So
problem.
the last problem
Oh, God.
is there is no hole for the keychain to hook through.
Okay.
Now, the issue with that is you're using ChatGPT to create this. ChatGPT cannot make holes in.
No, I'm using ChatGPT to write the OpenSCAD.
ChatGPT can't make holes? I had no idea. Really?
It is if you tell it now, maybe if you're using OpenSCAD, but if you just tell it to make a model, it says that it's missing the subtract Python module, which is
Okay, that's
interesting.
fascinating. Things I didn't suspect GPT would struggle with. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is there
So let me-
do you know if there do any of the big 5 GPT, Gemini, Copilot, Grok, or Claude, do any of them do better than GPT at making something with a hole in it?
ChatGPT is the only one that I know of that actually has a programming environment like that writes and executes Python code.
Does Claude not? Or
It'll write code, but when ChatGPT makes these models, it's actually using Python to generate the STL files. Yeah.
I got you, and the other coding models are not?
They just write the code for then you to go execute.
Yep.
I gotcha.
So far, well, you know.
I mean, hey,
These
this is part of
changed, so.
our learning to code, right? Like talking about the, layered nuance of using AI,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Like for
Let
me,
me
I
fix
wouldn't
this.
necessarily mind having to go copy and paste the code in somewhere else or
Learn
whatever. No, but like it's just an extra step. But like it's interesting to talk about like the nuanced use of the different AI tools.
Right.
Keychain open SCAD design SCAD
Man,
clickable
this
but
is one of
clickable
my favorite
name
Learn to Code Tuesdays ever. Maybe this is so cool.
This is awesome.
Oh my
E-H-E-R-E
gosh,
space I space N
you're
O space
literally making my week with this.
A-O-E space
Really?
L space A-E space K-E-Y V H H V Y-E-K space E-H-T space chat G out
We'll
of
see
section
if this
heading level
works
6
now.
blank.
All right. Because it does open, the ChatGPT can actually generate STLs.
Heading level you're right again M dash. Looks like the keyring hole didn't show properly due to the position or maybe the difference left parent right parent block didn't carve it out as expected. Let's fix that and make sure the chat G hole is clearly cut through the left side of the keychain.
It's like, you're right.
Here's the corrected version of the
Right.
OpenSCAD code with the working chat G keyring hole colon. Clickable copy button. A keychain opens.
Okay.
Learn line to line code. OpenSCAD playground dash Google Chrome dash parameters grouping spin button editable 8 spin button edit no previous edit field out of
Okay,
list
so
editable
here
opens 3
is
clickable editor content editor slash dot
replace this and then
out of edit list editable open parameters grouping render button render.
and there's probably no hole, I'm guessing, or maybe there is.
So I don't see it, but go ahead and put it in the file and let's see what we get. Let's
Parameters
put it in the
edit
drive so I can open it in better software. The playground software is not that good at seeing that kind of stuff.
Out of region out of grouping button download STL.
And this is
STL
honestly
button.
not very good software anyway. I don't like it.
Button
Oh,
your
it's fine.
rows and 3 columns clickable heading level 2 today. Row 1 column button show and folder.
I
Show
just don't
download
like
stash file date export left parent 30
I want to
download
show
history,
actual
desktop
success.
list Mac files 2 of 30 Mac files dash 5 iCloud column home column iCloud
And again, I want to,
100
if there's better ways
3D
to do
prints
this,
1 to
I
100
will do it.
items view
I would
export
probably
left
do better. There you go.
See?
I'm getting a phone call. Let me get rid of it. It's probably just junk. But yeah, hopefully that worked, Michael, because I don't know how to fix it.
Okay, so what's happening is, and it wouldn't take much to fix this. The keychain hole is part of the L. So it's right in the L. And the E comes right up to the edge, so it's not quite centered. But you know what? Let's see what happens if we print it, because
Okay.
it needs some work, but
But let's print it and see the first iteration of this and know that we all were here live to make this together.
right.
Because that's fun. And
Yeah.
I mean, you
It
know.
was a little like stressful because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to waste people's time. But I guess
I don't think you
was.
wasted anybody's time.
Oh,
Don't you
no.
guys
I,
think this has been fascinating?
Yeah, this is great.
Dude.
and I'm gonna keep exploring, and I'm gonna try that because
We
I want
can
to
work
figure
on the
that
slate
like,
and stylus too again later, like, outside of it. But
yeah.
like, I don't think you wasted anyone's time because I've thoroughly enjoyed this last
Hmm.
couple of hours. Like, how many times do we get to talk about how to code in real life and how that can apply to creating your own 3D printing designs? I mean, my gosh.
So I will let people know that it is estimated 26 minutes to print this design.
So you guys can post up pictures later, right?
Yes, we can put up pictures. Yep.
Tag the Laura Wheeler Foundation in it. And Taylor, another good thing you can do is you can also reshare your YouTube video link so people could see like what we were doing, and then the pictures will show the final, print.
Yeah, where would you post those, Michael?
Um.
Well, Techopolis Creations,
Yep.
guys. I mean,
Okay,
you can promote your own page doing that.
cool.
Yep.
Just tag our foundation and then also share Taylor's YouTube link to this specific live stream while you're doing it, and then everybody gets to see all of it. If they want to go see
So
the process, they can, and then if they,
let me describe what's happening now.
yeah.
Our printer is warming up, and what happens is it warms up the bed, like where it puts the print on, because when the bed is warm, it makes it to where it sticks better.
Mhm.
And the nozzle that puts the filament down is warming up as well. So currently the nozzle is at 228 degrees Fahrenheit. It gets hot. That will burn you. And the bed is at 55 degrees Fahrenheit currently. Once it gets to 65 on the bed, it will start printing. The nozzle's now at 230 degrees. The bed is at 57. And I can see all of this in my iPhone app. The print has 37 layers, and it's expected to finish at 12:14 p.m. Central. I get all of that information before I even start. And it's at 62 degrees Fahrenheit on the bed. Okay.
This is
64.
awesome.
I wish I had like binaural microphones so you could hear what it's going to do. Okay, it started. It's now realigning the it's lowering. I made a basket last night, so it's lowering the print head, the extruder as they call them, back down to be level with the bed, and it's realigning itself. Now it does what's called a homing, where it figures out, what is the center, and it uses AI to do that. What's the right height, and it takes a little while to do that. It looks at all the angles, make sure that the position is flat. The other thing with 3D printing, everybody, is you're not going to get it right at first. And even now we get projects that do not build. And what happens when you get projects that don't build, we call it spaghettification, because it becomes stringy, because filament is stringy. So it looks like spaghetti noodles have just gone everywhere. So it's still homing. Now it's printing. It also moves the plate to the as far front as it can, and then it puts off any leftover print on the back. I have a colorful term for that, but I won't discuss that here. Now it's making an outline of the print so that it knows the area it's going to work with. That's called the skirt. That's how I make it. Now it's still going around, and it's making the outline of what it's doing, and it's just drawing. Think of it as kind of coloring in, like you have a coloring book. It's kind of what it's doing, and it's just right now coloring in. And sometimes you don't know how big something needs to be. Like, this is kind of a bigger print for a keychain. This is not a good size for a keychain because it's kind of big. So what we'll need to do is make the text smaller on the keychain instead of making it longer. That's going to be the best way to do this. And again, we may have 10 more iterations before we get it just the way we want. And we will be selling Learn to Code keychains in the store.
Darn straight. Let's go.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Well, we're also going to make programming coins. So we'll have coins you can buy that have the like C++ or Python or HTML languages that you can collect as well. So you can have your programming coins in different colors.
Mhm.
So there's so many things that you could do with 3D printing. Now it's just putting lines to make the keychain. And I know it's not coming through the sound, but our printer is quite loud. And we have done, oh wow, it still says we haven't done any layers. I guess it's putting like, that's interesting, because it looks like it's done a layer to me. 0.5 grams so
Michael,
far.
what was the name of the app on your phone? Your iPhone?
It's called U5 Make. EUFY Make.
Okay, thanks.
And a lot of these apps, guys, have ways that you could download 3D models from their own app, things that other people have made.
Oh,
Just jumped up to 2 layers. Yeah, that was incorrectly measured. 2 out of 37.
This is so cool. Literally. So cool. I know some people, we have, technically 4 minutes left, but I'm really looking forward to you guys posting the pictures of the iteration and talking about it, and sort of seeing what this version of the rendering shows us, what we've kind of created and made together today,
Well, one thing I want to mention, I jumped up to 25 minutes. One thing I want to mention that is really interesting about this is that you're literally taking code and making it into a physical thing that you can hold.
That's it. That's why I was fine with going down this kind of a rabbit trail today because I mean, I want people to see that, like, code isn't just typing on a computer and making something intangible on the computer. Code is even creating something like this that literally you can hold in your hand that is a result of someone's coding and creating, you know?
I mean, I have a stand from my Apple Vision Pro, and it is a neat stand. It is a really cool stand. The problem is it did not fully form, and there's some strings on it. But if I could get that thing to print, it would be so amazing. And that's what you can do with this stuff is you can make practical things that you can use around the house, or that you can use as collector's items, or that you can sell. You could do what we're doing and make a business out of 3D prints.
And
And
you can even sell on Facebook Marketplace if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Now, there are different types of filaments. We're using PLA. There's one called PETG that is also a little more durable. There are some that have a really bad smell and that have fumes. So you have to be careful on what you buy. But we made this basket, and it's 1/5 of a roll of filament. Okay. And that basket will make us $25. And one roll of filament on its own is $25. So do you see the profitability of what you're doing here? You can
Absolutely. Well, I mean, because it cost you $5 to make that basket, and you're gonna make 20.
right, exactly.
That's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stoked. I know that someday I'm gonna get a 3D printer and I'm gonna start doing stuff. Not really competing with you guys, but like, trying just learning how to make some of my own designs
Oh, for sure.
and some of the stuff for the
There's
foundation to cut costs,
There's so
there
much you
there's
can do.
right. I mean,
Exactly.
and it's art. I mean, this is still art, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people can sculpt. That's great. Some people can do different things, but you're literally doing the same things that you do as an art. When you make your own
Exactly.
3D models, you're making art. And that's one thing to think about. Like, what can you create with this?
And you're making art with coding and with AI.
Hmm.
And people sometimes will knock on AI like, oh, it's if it's AI generated, but it's not real or whatever. But I would argue back and say, if it's AI generated, or if AI helped create the coding or the pictures or the rendering or the whatevering, still absolutely counts because the idea came from your brain. You know what I mean? You
And
Well,
another thing, oh, sorry, Michael.
I was just
let
gonna
me
say,
let me
like,
let,
it all works together, right? Like, the creator thinks of something in their brain and then codes it, and AI helps, and then out comes this.
well, let me also say this. Everything that we do that's creative is based off other shared experiences that we as humans have had. So
Absolutely.
music that we make is based off previous music.
Yeah.
Sculptures are made based off previous things that we've seen. That's
Yep.
the same with AI, guys.
Yep.
AI is basing what it creates off of things that humans have done. So
Mm-hmm.
how is that any different?
Exactly. It's just, so be encouraged, guys, and think about it like, where sighted people may have some, I would say, easier in some ways, like more natural ways to produce their art. We, with AI and with learning to code, now have the same opportunities just in a different creative way, but no less valuable,
Well,
Because,
let me put it like this. Here's another way to look at it.
yeah,
There are sighted people. They may have full sight, but you know what? They have just as many limitations as we do.
just in different ways.
That might surprise you. But like there are sighted people, they have full sight, but they can't sculpt.
Yeah,
They can't draw. There are sighted people that could not draw a circle to save their life. Did y'all
it's
know that?
true.
Did y'all know that? So they have to rely on the same tools that we do to make art. So how does that make us any different?
Exactly, that's my point. So we should take full pride in the fact that we are using these tools, including AI and our learning to code knowledge and other things, to create and render art and to bring our really what I would say is I don't really care what anyone else says. I don't care what the haters say. I don't care what the critics say. At the end of the day, by learning to code and by using AI and 3D printing, or even using AI to code and create pictures, right? Like AI generated artwork or pictures that you would have, or whatever art medium you're going to use AI and your coding knowledge to make, right? You are essentially unleashing the creative power of your mind. You know, you're thinking of an idea, of a dream, of something you envision, and you are using the tools that you now have in your hands to make it into reality. And that's pretty darn awesome because I know even just 5 years ago, or heck, 10 years ago for sure, it was a lot harder for us to use digital tools to render our dreams and visions and ideas to life, you know? I mean,
Right.
I know for me, I can speak from pure experience. I often, even 5 years ago, I was stuck with ideas in my head that I didn't have the ability visually to make happen, you know? And now I can use AI and to some degree coding to bring my artistic dreams to life, whether it's writing a creative short story or whether it's creating a picture or making a video, or now I'm going to dabble in 3D printing or whatever it may be. So don't just think of learning to code as like all computer programming and computery stuff. I mean, it is a lot of that, but like think of it as also unlocking another layer when paired with AI to your artistic creativity, because it really is, you know?
Exactly.
So, happy Learn to Code Tuesday, everybody. There we go. It's so exciting and it's so encouraging to me to be able to learn more about this and to be able to have a community that, I mean, guys, think about it. We just spent an hour and a half playing with Michael and Taylor's 3D software and printing to create something together. How cool is that?
And it's really left up to your imagination as to what you can make. Um, I mean, we wouldn't have thought of several things that we had. We talked through them. Like one of the things that I was like, it's going to be July 4th is the next major holiday, so let's make some red, white, and blue stars. You know,
Yeah,
it's coming up with like, what is something that people would like?
yeah, exactly. So I'm sure that over our journey together and learning to code every Tuesday, we'll be dabbling in this some more. Maybe even I'm just going to live throw an idea out there live, unscripted. What if, guys, Michael, Taylor, what if we agreed on a base item, like a design, right? That maybe we could have a special Learn to Code Tuesday edition that people could maybe prepay a price, I don't know, $10 or $20 or whatever, based on whatever item we all agree, you and me and Taylor, that we're making. Okay. And maybe what we do on a Learn to Code Tuesday is like, in the future, like once we have a process ironed out and stuff, maybe we community design something together through coding and
Yeah.
AI. So maybe it's a keychain, or maybe it's a little placard, or maybe it's a something, and maybe the community signs up and prepays, to pre-buy it, but then they come together and we all design it, or oh no, something like that in the future someday. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
we
lots
should
of
we should
ideas.
we should get together and talk about that and come up with a
Yeah, that'd be
plan.
I love talking about 3D printing and things, and
So guys,
look,
subscribe to Taylor's YouTube channel and
yeah,
follow her, but then also follow Techopolis Creations, and follow the Laurel Wheeler Foundation, LaurelWheeler, because as you now just heard, there's other ideas and other things we'll be doing in the future that you won't want to miss.
No.
So, well, this is awesome, and I can't wait to see the pictures here in a bit. I know you guys will tag the foundation and publish that, and people will be able to refer back to this YouTube live stream to see how we got this going, and it'll be fun for us to see kind of how the project kind of comes together, like what this first version looks like, and then what you guys do to modify it and to perfect it. This has been super fun.
This has been really interesting. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
this has
love
been
this.
great.
It really has been. So, all right, everybody. Well, I really look forward to seeing everyone again for another Learn to Code Tuesday. Taylor will be doing it solo next Tuesday since I am traveling. And Taylor, I will make sure you have no problems getting into our Zoom and doing it.
Okay. Yep. And
And,
next week we'll do a help session, and we can explore like the full stack, or we could just do like a whole like study session. So just depending on what you guys want to do, I want to kind of mix it up a little bit. So
Exactly. So, and then I'll be back the week after that. Like I said, I have to be I've got to be flying somewhere next Tuesday. So occasionally I'll miss, but never fear, because we have our fearless co-host from Techopolis taking over and taking control while I am gone. So join us again next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Time USA, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and early 8 a.m. Pacific. And we've got people all over the world that watch, and of course you can watch anytime on Taylor's YouTube.
yep.
And have an awesome week, everybody. Taylor, Michael, I can't wait to see the pictures.
I know.
Thanks,
I can't wait.
guys.
Guido Garcia has left the
Bye,
meeting
Have a
alert.
guys.
good week.
Unknown. Melissa Wolf has left the meeting alert.
Bye, everybody.
Jack Keach.
Let me figure
Unknown.
out how to end
Learn line to
this.
Zoom social
Yeah, you
dash
got
learn.
to end the stream and
Unknown.
end that.
C colon Gemini
Let me try
C
it.
colon inbox left Gemini dash
Man,
group
this
learn
has
line
been
to screen
fun.
sharing meeting C colon
I know.
learn screen inbox
I keep missing.
learn line to line.